Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth, the team at Reads, and I have a really fun DIY project for you today. This is Frontlines by Michael Grant. You guys probably know him from his best-selling Gone series, but Frontlines is actually really different. This is a reimagining of World War II. Picture this. Before America gets involved in the war, a law is passed that actually lets young women fight alongside men. So this book follows 3 girls and all of the difficulties, struggles, and tensions they faced on the front lines fighting in the army. And so for today's episode, we're going to be doing a 1940s hairstyle that combines some of the fun looks from girls in the 1940s, but also with a practical headscarf as a tribute to Rosie the Riveter and to these really badass girls. So before we get started today, I want to introduce you all to Julie, who is another member of Team Epic Reads, and she is going to be my hair model today. You just need a couple of things to get this awesome 1940s look. Some hairspray, of course, a simple styling comb, some bobby pins, a curling iron, and a square headscarf. It can be silk, it can be a bandana, it can be any color or design that you want. And lastly, some red lipstick to finish off your look. So we have just a few simple steps today to get this awesome 1940s look. First, you're gonna start with your styling comb and you're just gonna section off the front piece of your hair. So I'm gonna go along Julie's part and I'm just gonna section off this front piece. Perfect. Julie, will you do me a favor and just hold this here?
Sure.
Great. So then what you want to do is simply tie up the back of the hair that's not in this front section. If you want to get more of a curl and get some more volume, you can use your curling iron to put in some loose curls. You can tease it. But for right now, I want to do a little bit more of a modern twist on this look, so I'm going to do a simple top knot. You have such pretty hair, Julie.
Thanks.
And it's okay if you have some bumps because we're going to be putting a headscarf on to cover them up. Hair tie. Okay, so now that you have your messy top knot ready to go, we're gonna do some simple curls on that front section of hair. So what I'm gonna do is first section off this very top piece, right near her part. And I'm gonna use my curling iron to do a front curl. I'll show you how to do that. So you want to roll the curl forward. So I'm gonna start from the bottom down here, and I'm simply gonna roll up. Okay, let that sit for a second. I'm gonna take it out. Be careful not to burn your friend if you're doing this on a friend. Okay, so now you're just gonna do the exact same thing with a front roll. So one of the things that I love the most about Frontlines is that the girls in the story are actually among the first to fight alongside men. And it's really interesting because they struggle with wanting to be badasses on the battlefield, which they totally are, but also not giving up all of the qualities that they love about themselves. So for example, one of the characters is a total sharpshooter. She's amazing on the battlefield and in the war, but she also wants to paint her nails and she doesn't want to have to choose between the two, and she shouldn't have to. Ooh, that was a pretty one. Perfect. So I'm just gonna keep going until the entire front section of Julie's hair is curled. Okay, so now that we have Julie's front section of hair curled, we're gonna go on to the next step. This one's gonna involve some teasing and some hairspray, so brace yourselves. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So first what we're gonna do is give Julie some volume. So what I'm gonna do is take this front section and I'm gonna start just lightly teasing it to the root. I'm not gonna do too much because I want you to be able to get this out later if you don't wanna be from the 1940s all day, but we do definitely wanna make sure we get some of that awesome 1940s volume. And if you need some help from your hairspray, now's a good time to start spraying that in. So next, you are simply gonna start creating a circle with your fingers with the curl. So I'm gonna take this whole section and I'm gonna start rolling it into a circle. It's okay if it's not totally smooth yet because we're gonna pin it and we're gonna use a lot of hairspray. So we're gonna make it just right. Now I'm gonna put a pin in the front. If you don't like how that looks, because you can kind of maybe see a little peek of the bobby pin, you can always take it out later once it's secure from behind. Okay, great. So now that I have this adorable little circle curl on top of Julie's head, I'm just gonna add a couple more pins and hairspray. Okay, so now you're gonna go ahead and take your square scarf, and I'm first gonna show you how to fold it, and then we're gonna fasten it to Julie's head. Okay, so now that we have our scarf ready to go, what I'm gonna do is just simply fold this in half so that I have a triangle. Perfect. And then I'm gonna fold this part of the triangle over a little bit so that we have about the width that we want. I want this to be kind of wide, like they had it in the 40s, so I'm thinking maybe like 4 to 6 inches wide. So you fold it over till you have your desired width, and then you fold the tip over again. So it should look kind of like that when you have your fold. Now I'm just gonna make sure that I have that all nicely placed. Okay, great. So now I'm gonna take this behind Julie's head. I'm gonna bring it up to the top, and I'm simply gonna tie it in a knot at the top of Julie's head. Then I'm gonna go back and make sure that it covers the tips of her ears, because that's how they would have worn it in the 1940s. So I'm just gonna smooth that out on the side so it's covering the tips of her ears, and tighten it a little bit. So one thing that I like to do at this stage is just to pin the scarf in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple of reinforcement pins in here. And if you have any flyaway hairs that you wanted to catch as well, you can pin those back while you pin your scarf. So now with the top of the knot that you just made, you're gonna go ahead and knot that one more time. Now this one, I wanna make this knot really stand out, so I'm gonna do it loosely, and then I'm gonna kind of pull it out a little bit so that it looks like a little big, kind of almost like you're tying a bow. You want that knot to be really cute. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and tuck the ends in. Okay, I'm gonna give it one last final spray. Now there's just one final touch to this look. Let's give you some awesome red lipstick. The mirror for you, if you wanna go ahead and put this on. All right, so check it out. We have an amazing 1940s hairstyle look on Julie. She looks awesome. You're like a little badass Rosie the Riveter. I love it. So now Julie is either a 1940s pinup girl
Or a warrior.
or a warrior, whatever she wants. So don't forget to check out Frontlines, and if you have any ideas for future DIY projects, just leave them in the comments below. Bye!